On the mic is the queen, so listen to me sing. He wants a number 3 super size onion ring.
Ooh, you know he's gonna use that in the intro. Multiple takes.
Okay.
Take 1.
Take 1.
Hi guys, welcome back to Hi guys, welcome back to BYOT. My name is Jenny. I'm gonna be today's host. Today I have here with me Daniel, Quinn, and Miss May.
Miss May.
I got the
Miss May.
I got the miss. Okay, so these past couple weeks we've been talking about things like relationships, finances, careers. I thought that today we'd talk about something a little bit more serious. So we're going to be talking about breakups. So we'll see what's brewing today.
Perfect topic for Jenny Yang.
All right, so we have a list of questions. We're going to start out with a basic. Do you guys believe in the one that got away?
What?
The one that got away.
I was like, why is it so quiet now that I take out the headphones? Jenny, say it confidently.
I did. Should I do it again? Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Do you guys believe in the one that got away? I do.
Ooh, tell us more.
Wait. Can you guys elaborate on what that is? Like who got away?
Okay, for the viewers, explain, Jenny. What is the one that got away?
Okay, the one Whoa.
The
one that got away, Daniel, is like
I got away.
it's like having somebody from your past that you like think might have been the one, but you basically let them get away. So you guys are like not together anymore.
Maybe you feel like you could have fought harder for that person, but you didn't, and it didn't work out for. And it didn't work out for some reason. But you still feel strongly about that person, and you like feel more so regret not trying harder, to make things work out.
Okay, I get it. I get the general idea. I think things happen for a reason. So
Yeah.
I also feel the same way. That it didn't happen. It didn't work out for whatever reason. And if that person's meant to be in your life, then it would have worked out already. But I feel like that also goes back to, I'm getting ahead of myself, but the concept of right person, wrong time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why I also suggested that question, because it's kind of, I guess, controversial, because, I mean, skipping ahead too, I don't believe the right person, wrong time.
You don't believe in right person, wrong time?
Yeah. So
okay.
I believe if it's the right person, it's the right time.
Mm-hmm.
But it might be contradictory, but I believe in the one that got away too.
Okay. Do you have the one that got away
Yes,
currently?
I do. I think that's why I believe in it.
Okay.
Because there was a guy that, I mean, who knows? Like, maybe if we tried longer and we might have realized that we weren't the right fit for each other. But in the beginning, you know, those feelings that I described, like, I felt really comfortable with him. I felt like he would just listen to me and I could be myself. That feeling that I searched for in a relationship, he gave that to me. But at that time, I wasn't ready to be in something serious.
But isn't that the wrong time too?
Yeah. So
I'm so confused.
That's what I'm saying is contradicting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is contradictory. Like, to me, he wasn't the right person because it was the wrong time for me. But I still think of him as the one that got away. Like, what if I could have met him now when I am ready? We could be together, but because we didn't meet at the right time, he wasn't the right person. But I still believe that he was the one that got away. You know?
Do you feel like
harder than math equation or something? It's like everything going on in my head.
do you feel like he's considered the one that got away because you're not able to get those feelings from the other guys that you've dated?
No. I think it's more like if I just concentrate on him at that time, then I would have been satisfied. But because I didn't have him, I was still searching for someone like him.
Have you met somebody that gave you like similar like feelings?
Yeah, I have, but also maybe it wasn't the right time for them either, because there was no one that was gonna commit to the level that I wanted commitment from. So it's like the other way around, where they weren't ready for me, so I was the wrong time for them.
But when did you start thinking that way, like about that guy? Because you obviously didn't feel like that when you were like meeting him at that time. It eventually got to the point where you started to feel that he's the one that got away.
Yeah.
Do you think like there's like an exterior like extra like factors that like affected you to think back and think that he might have been the one?
Yeah, I think it's because, you know, I've been single for like 5 years now, and I've had a good amount of experience dating, and I've realized that finding someone that had the same kind of connection that I shared with him is very, very rare. So out of the amount of dates I've been on, I can only count maybe in like one hand the same type of connection I had felt with him.
But you didn't know at that time.
I didn't know at that time because it was the beginning stages of me dating people, and I had no benchmark at that time to know that, wow, this is something that I should really focus on. I wanted to get more data.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that. I was like, benchmarking is good. Benchmarking is good.
Yeah. And I think that's what it takes. Like sometimes it's just like letting that person go and then experiencing life on your own to realize that like, oh, that person was really good for me and I missed out on that person.
Yeah. For sure. Because I talked about this with someone else too, where they were with someone and in that relationship they didn't have any type of feelings with them, like strong feelings with them. It wasn't until that person ended it and then that person that I was talking to realized how devastated they were. That's when they finally realized, like, damn, they were the one that got away.
I mean, they do say
And
you never
took
know.
that breakup
You
to
don't know what
change.
you have
Until it's gone.
Yeah.
It's true.
It is true.
Do you guys feel like if you met that person now, things would be the same, different, like in a good or bad way?
I mean, we don't even know.
Yeah. I
guess
do
yeah.
think that like if I were to meet my exes now, things would be very different because I'm also a very different person now than I was a few years ago. I feel like I'm learning, I'm changing every single year. Things would have, you know, happened very differently had I met them later in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think for me, it could have been for the better or the worse too. Because I think I have changed as a person since those long years ago. But they would have changed too.
Yeah.
And who knows if I would have liked them at this point in life.
I also feel like a part of us romanticize the person if we haven't like talked to them in a while, like spoken to them in a while or seen them in a while. So it's like our minds just make up like the best version of like who they could be.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm curious what you think, Jenny.
Of the one that got away.
Yeah, do you believe
I
in?
think that I used to, but I think that it's just because you haven't met. Like, I feel like it's that period after a breakup where you like kind of think back and like long for them. But when you meet somebody new who makes you realize that you're able to fall in love again, I think that kind of goes away. Yeah.
Oh, just to clarify though, I don't think the one that got away was the one true love for me though. I think there could be multiple the ones that
You
got
just
away.
have not yet
okay,
met
okay.
them yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
There
I
have been multiple soulmates.
I don't believe in I believe in multiple soulmates, yeah. Or I don't believe in a soulmate.
Somebody believe in this one.
I don't believe in one soulmate.
Do you guys believe in soulmates?
I don't.
I don't believe in a soulmate. One soulmate.
Quinn.
Oh, okay.
Same.
Yeah.
How about you, Jenny?
I think there's people that you have this like chemistry with that like you can't really describe.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you would say that's like a soulmate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess kind of. Why do you keep laughing?
Dang. Our views on love are so jaded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In short, I believe in multiple the ones. Yeah.
Even if soulmates exist, all relationships take a lot of work. That if you don't put the work in, it's like you might not end up together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I fully agree with what she said. That I was gonna add to that. I think meeting someone and like falling in love was one thing, but the work that it takes to maintain that relationship goes beyond like my view of what a soulmate.
Yeah. Like you might have more chemistry with somebody else, but if you don't put in a lot of work, it might not work out. Opposed to like somebody else who you might not have enough chemistry with, but like you put in more work with. I think the effort matters more.
I think love only lasts for so long if you don't know how to communicate, don't know how to like intertwine each other into each other's lives.
Do you think your views on like breakups and relationships have changed now compared to like earlier in your 20s?
Who wants to go first?
I feel like I have a more mature mindset on breakups now. again, I'm kind of skipping questions because I already saw your other questions.
That's okay. That's okay.
But it's like you had this one question, like if you were to break up with someone, would you take some time before you break up with them, or would you do it, right away when you know? I think back then I had an immature mindset where I was trying to people please and really trying to make a relationship work when I knew on my end it wasn't working. But ultimately it was kind of selfish on my end because I was kind of leading on someone else when I could just let them go at an earlier time in our relationship. And ultimately it was selfish because he didn't get as much time if I had just given him the breakup when I knew. I think reflecting back on that, I would have been more selfish in just prioritizing my own needs and letting go of that person when I knew it was time, and not trying to keep it going because of, oh, he's gonna be devastated and I don't want to suffer that devastation right now. Like I'll just put it off until a little bit later when I'm ready to handle those mature conversations,
So you prolong the relationship, so you can like mentally prepare yourself for
Yeah.
when that time would come.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking more so like, oh, maybe it was like more one-sided where like, okay, maybe I can make it work. Or-
Both too. I think I was making that
I'm sorry.
excuse, like, oh, I can make it work. But deep down, it was because I wasn't ready to have that conversation,
Yeah.
I can definitely relate because I mean, like, when I look at my relationship, like, in the past, we both knew that relationship wasn't really going anywhere. And I think Jenny knows in detail about, like, how I had so much complaint and, like, the issues weren't being solved and things like that. And we knew that, but we just stayed together because all those years in the past that were good, right?
Yeah.
And we don't want to let that go. And it was kind of hard because, especially after graduating college, we didn't really meet anyone new. So the fact that, like, if we were to break up, we had, like, our mutual friends all, like, intertwined and stuff like that. So that would make it, like, murkier, and like we didn't want to really worry about that. So I think that kind of prolonged the relationship when we should have been more straightforward. And I guess, like, if we were to, like, put in the effort to fix it, then that's another story. But we weren't doing that, we were just ignoring everything.
Yeah.
So if it were to be like now, I think I would be more mindful of it.
I do think that a lot of people stay together for the history. Like, you have, like, so many memories together and you're just like, I can't give this up and start over, even though you do have a lot of problems. So that kind of, like, drags on the relationship a lot of times.
Yeah. And the longer you drag it on, you just think like, oh, I've already invested
So much
so
time,
many
yeah.
years in this relationship.
Sunk
There's
costs.
just exactly sunk costs. Yeah.
It's tough because especially, like, people our age too, like, we got together with people in pivotal moments of our lives, like college, when we're finally moved out of our parents' home, or like our first adult lives where we get out of college and we're, like, actually having to pay rent and all that. So we associate them with such important parts of our lives that we hold so much regard for them that it's hard to let them go, because it's like letting go pivotal moments of our lives too.
I can definitely relate to that because I was in, like, a 4-year relationship in my early 20s, and I think because he was such an important part of my life during those pivotal years, like you said, like, after the breakup, I think it was, like, so hard to find, like, your own, like, routine and your own self, because you, like, went to college, graduated, started your first job together, that it's like your early 20s. Like, I think if you've been in a long-term relationship and you break up, it's, like, very hard to, like, pick yourself back up.
I mean, a lot of your identity is associated with that person. I think my college relationship, there's a lot of growing pain. I feel like it's like the first time you're living on your own, the first time you're having so much freedom and navigating by yourself. It's a lot to learn, and also you're kind of immature at that. A lot of us are immature at that point. Just a lot of trials and errors in that relationship, for sure.
Do you guys feel like when you turn 25, you had that prefrontal cortex develop? Have you heard about that?
Yes,
like, your brain?
Something just clicks in your brain. I don't know about for you
Frontal
guys,
what?
but exactly.
There's a 3-year lag for the guys.
It'll hit you when you're 40.
I got quarter life crisis. That counts.
At 25?
25, yeah.
But yeah, I also feel like I viewed my boyfriend as an emotional crutch. So like I depended on him for everything. So it was very hard for me to let that go, because if I lose him, like who am I going to depend on? Like, am I going to have to depend on myself? Because I wasn't really independent back then either.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, immature May, it was just hard to let all those parts of him go, because, yeah, it's like you're losing a part of your identity.
I think after... Oh, dang it.
That's okay.
After that first breakup, that real breakup, I think that's when you learn the most about yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And learning how
for
to be by
sure.
yourself. I feel
Yeah.
like that's when I did the most growing up.
When was your like first hardest breakup? Like how old were you guys?
College.
Yeah, college. I was sophomore year of college. It was the hardest.
Mine was 2021, I believe. 2021.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're pretty recent.
So, because that was a 6-year relationship. So I was 18 when that started. So I think at that point, like, I honestly didn't know what to do. I don't even know what I did when I was 18. Like, I always had someone around, like even my family or something like that. But when that was gone, like after breakup, it was kind of hard because, like I said, like it's really hard to meet new friends after college, especially if you're not in like a big city like New York. It's pretty much impossible unless like you go out and stuff. I also didn't, partake in that lifestyle at that time.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that led me to come to New York. So, best decision.
Yeah, that must have been tough on you. Understand the landscape of
Atlanta,
Georgia,
yeah.
Atlanta.
We got the 3 Atlanta folks here.
Oh, God. We're outnumbered here, California.
They're all actually in California.
Our viewers?
No, like our members.
Oh, our members. Oh.
Viewers too.
Yeah.
Because Winston and Charisse are out of town.
In California, actually.
Yeah.
So you were like in your... Did we say
20.
age here? Did you share
He-
your
she-
age?
Yeah,
already
I don't
revealed his
care.
age.
I'm too late.
28.
Too late. I don't care. How old was I? Like
26.
26.
Yeah.
26, yeah. I think that's when I hit like a quarter life crisis, to be honest. I genuinely didn't know what to do at the time. I had a lot of time by myself. Like there were weeks when I didn't like go out at all because I was like remote working, living by myself.
COVID made things worse.
Yeah,
if you had a
COVID also made
COVID
it
breakup.
worse.
Oh, that's
yeah.
And then like I met Quinn eventually, and then
And it changed his life for the better.
Quinn the savior.
for the worst. And then, like it's a lot of things. Like who knew we would all end up in New York? Because
Yeah.
we always we talked about it, and then
I always encourage. I was like, you should move.
and then I also like denied coming to New York like first couple times, and then I like finally gave in because that just felt like the only option of getting out of that like situation. But I guess like the breakup is what initially caused everything that led me to come here and enjoy a better life.
People would say like, oh, moving to a new place is not going to change who you are. You still have to deal with it yourself just to run away from problems. In my head, I'm like, oh,
Don't tell me
I
what to do.
actually want to go.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to do that.
I think it was good for me that like I had a year break. We had a breakup and then I stayed in Atlanta for a year, which like I really didn't do much. Like I don't even know what I did. I did lose 30 pounds, which was a huge thing.
Breakups would do that to you.
Because I did not go out, like I didn't drink, and then came here with better self, I guess. Yeah, I think I was like in a healthier mindset, like mental health too.
Yeah.
After like meeting Quinn and just meeting new people, I think that put me into the right mindset that allowed me to kind of move here. So
On the topic of losing weight, after my college breakup, I was like the thinnest that I've ever been.
Wow.
Me too. I was like, oh my gosh, my friends were like horrified. Even my family was like, you lost so much weight.
Oh my goodness.
It's like to the point where my parents were sending me money. They're like,
Oh my God.
you need to eat. Like I was like,
something.
it's not the money.
It's not the money.
It's the appetite. You need to eat.
was it like naturally or like?
Yeah, I was just like,
Oh, I had to work it off. like,
oh really?
Because you had motivation.
No, naturally, I just didn't have an appetite
Yeah.
for anything.
Yeah.
I was really going through it.
Yeah.
It wasn't even motivation for me. It was like I just had nothing to do.
Okay, this is another question, I guess, on the list, but they say that boys and girls process breakups differently. Do you guys think that's true?
I think
that's
so.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
So what's the difference?
I mean, you had to work off the weight, and girls just don't have it all the time.
Like thinking back, like that breakup, I think I was mentally already checked out a long ago.
Oh.
So when that happened, it was kind of relief in a way that like I just could move on and do my
Yeah.
own.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that like, oh, I hated this girl, so like I thank God like I'm not in this anymore. But like it was just that like it's been a long time since like I got to, you know, do things for myself and, you know, do like I came to New York for like by myself like during COVID. I went to LA for like by myself for the first time. Like
Mhm.
Do you think in your ex's eyes, like you moved on pretty quickly?
oh yeah, I think she definitely thought so. We did talk like a couple months before I moved. That like she was kind of like I guess hurt in a way that like it looked like on social media that like I was hanging out with a bunch of new people already and like things like that. But you can't let that like pull back, right?
Yeah.
Just because
Yeah.
you guys broke up, one person can't move on. Like that doesn't mean.
No, I'm just pointing that out because like I
Yeah.
see that as like the main difference between how girls and guys process breakups.
Mm.
The guys, I feel like in my experience,
Yeah.
tend to make it seem like they moved on a lot quicker
Mm-hmm.
than the girls. I feel like for me, in my experience, like I tend to take longer to process things. So I was like not going out and like meeting new people right after the breakup. Whereas the guys is like immediate, let's go out, like posting stories, like they're having so much fun, this new life they're adjusting to. But then a few months later, it hits them.
Yeah, no, I do see those memes a lot on social media where
that is
like
the stereotype.
In my experience, though,
Yeah.
that has been true for me.
and they do the like planting seeds on your stories again, like
And
liking your
then
stories.
They come crawling back.
Yeah,
Wait, but-
orbiting on you.
but
They always come back.
okay.
Do you
I
do
never
you think
went back.
exes always come back?
No, I never.
Or
went
at least
back.
they try to reach out to you.
Oh.
After, I feel like they have like a sixth sense where they feel like you've moved
You're
on.
moving on.
Given these
Yeah.
are like also in my early 20s, so
Yeah.
you know, probably a more immature mindset.
Because yeah, personally for me, I think it depended on who broke up with who first. Like if I was the one that broke up with them, or I'm the one that initiated the idea, then I moved on quicker because I mentally prepared myself for it already. Versus if someone broke up with me, I took longer. I wasn't ready for it.
So wait, are these applicable to like the dates too, like or like maybe
Or, like,
not like an
ending?
official relationship, but like let's say you're seeing someone exclusively. Like,
Isn't
is
that-
it a similar idea, or like?
You don't need to put a title on it, but I feel like if you have strong feelings,
Yeah.
if you invested a lot of yourself in that relationship, then I think
It would apply the
Yeah.
same. Yeah.
Because like let's say like you've been seeing this person for like a couple months, but you guys are not official, or like at least for me, like if it's not official, it didn't really affect me as much. I just like saw it as like, oh, it's just like another person passing by kind of thing.
Yeah.
But some people go out of their way to show the other person like I'm fine without you.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
on social media, for
Oh,
example, like showing
yeah.
that like, hey, I'm living my life. Like,
But
the
that's
other
not always
person.
intended for the other person. It's like for ourselves, you know. Like I would post stories about hanging out with like other people, but it wasn't intended for my ex.
But if I've seen situations where the person is not usually one to post on social that often, and they would
do it
they did
after.
Suddenly do
after. So it's like very apparent that they're, you know,
Maybe they were just
trying
more
to-
considerate when they were in a relationship. Maybe like the things they would post would not be appreciated by that person.
I mean, Rich mentioned a part of that too, where when he's in a relationship, he's not doing as much versus
Mhm.
when he breaks up, he's like doing more with his boys. So that's like
Boys.
more content that's appealing to
More
people.
content.
Yeah, so that's when he would story more because like
Mhm.
he's doing more. And I've seen other guys do that same thing where like they're more homebodies when they're in relationships, but once they end the relationship, they're going out to clubs with their boys more, or they're like traveling more, which is just content that you would want to post on your story more.
Content. No,
I
but
can see that.
I also like going back to that like difference between the guys and girls about after breakup. I think like guys, I can't represent all guys, but I'm like more on the emotional side. So I think I did things to occupy myself,
Mhm.
not because like, oh, like I'm moving on or like I'm like done. Like yeah, there are like still like emotional residue. Like you still like think about it and things like that when it initially happens, but you just like keep yourself occupied or things like that too. Because like if you're just home and like doing nothing and like constantly thinking about that, I don't think I can move on. And like I just need to, you know, do something to like get my mind off of it.
That's the best thing you can do after a breakup, is just to work on yourself.
Yeah.
Do you guys believe in no contact?
Yeah, like I think it's the best, right? Like,
Yeah.
because you're eventually gonna meet someone, and they're eventually gonna meet someone too. I think it's just like comes out of respect that you don't really.
Like, would you unfollow them?
Yeah, I unfollow them.
Do you unfollow their friends and family?
No.
I mean, I don't like go out of my way to do it, but like if I see them and it's like irrelevant, then I don't really mind not seeing it. Then I just unfollow them. Because like why do I need to follow my ex's friend when I don't really have any interest towards looking at their stories or content?
Personally, I have done both, where one, I will still follow them because I still feel like they were my best friends. So I still am interested, and I still want to support them. But then they actually unfollowed me and like made me unfollow them. And then I've also been in situations where I'm like, okay, I need a fresh slate. I'm going to unfollow you so I don't get reminded of you. Actually, I guess the first situation is where I did the breakup. So I was able to move on quicker.
Yeah.
So that's why I was still able to follow them, versus it was harder for them, which is why they had to unfollow me.
What about their friends and family, though?
Friends and family. Well, all their friends were my friends. So yeah.
That's hard.
And then I didn't follow any of their family. So I still followed their friends.
That's weird.
Yeah, but then the second one, I completely cut off contact. I still followed their friends, but it's not like their friends storied them that much. I might have muted their friends at some point and then unmuted, just to give myself some time to heal before unmuting them again. But I think no contact is the best way to go.
You too?
Yeah. I mean, I would unfollow them, but I don't think it's necessary to also involve like friends and family. Like I don't feel the need to block people that person's associated with.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I come from the mindset of like being in that insecure relationship. I got questioned a lot of like who I'm following and stuff like that, and why I'm following. Like from my exes and like people that I met before.
Like while you were together.
Yeah. So like I just want to avoid that question. Like why go through that hassle? Because I don't need to follow them. Like I don't need to fight over something that I really don't care about. So I just do it in a way that like to avoid any kind of situations like that.
I've definitely unfollowed him and his friends and his family before. I think that was very immature of me to do, like looking back on it. I thought that was the right thing to do because like I could not, like I needed to stop thinking about it, and like that was the best thing I could have done for myself at the moment. So yeah.
Why do you think that was immature then? Because that sounds like a very mature reason.
I think I did it for me at the moment, but I think looking back, like it just shows that I can't, like I have to like burn all bridges, and I don't think that's like a good look, like outwardly. Yeah.
Although I do think like when I first broke up, like I said, like we talked and we met, we hung out a couple of times after we broke up. What I know now is like what I eventually learned, that like if we constantly see each other, like we both couldn't move on. We didn't have any friends, like so we needed that certain like cutoff point where we should like go our separate ways. So I think that's where I stand now.
Yeah, I completely agree too, because I also did the same thing where I was like, okay, I'm losing you as a boyfriend, but I don't want to lose you as my best friend.
Yeah.
So I want to keep you in my life as my best friend and update you on how my life is, and you update me on how your life is. And looking back, that was very selfish because I didn't want to lose a best friend, when in reality, like you kind of have to let that friendship go too. Yeah.
It's sad if you think about it.
It's so sad.
It is.
If you're meeting someone now, like unless you're married, it's either like you guys go forever, or like you guys are gonna
or
be
you're strangers again.
Shout out to Womper Productions. Okay, is there a respectable amount of time after a breakup where it's considered acceptable to date again, or does it not matter?
I think you should be selfish.
I feel like it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, you should just be able to do. Even though I will probably judge you, but you should just do it. You know?
That's the same advice I recently gave a friend. That just to be selfish, do whatever it takes for you to move on.
Yeah.
I was thinking like we're getting old too,
Mhm.
so you don't want to give that like a minimum respectable period.
Yeah.
You're just wasting time.
I
And-
do. Yeah.
Go ahead. I was gonna say
Mhm.
everyone's perspective of what that timeline should be is different.
Mhm. Yeah.
So do whatever works for
Mhm.
yourself.
What's your answer?
Oh, I will say though, like immediately after the breakup, when I do go on a date, I think it makes me more sad. I don't know if you guys can relate,
Mhm.
but yeah, I think that's why for me, I think I'd rather wait a little bit
Mhm.
until I feel like I won't compare or like
Mhm.
look for the same connection, because it's never gonna be the same, you know.
Yeah.
So
But that's also your
Yeah,
respectable
that's all,
time
all for
too.
yourself.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
true.
Yeah.
However long
Yeah.
it takes.
Yeah, but there's like this slippery line that I am talking to this.
That side eye.
Anyways, I was gonna say there's like this slippery line that you don't want to cross in case, you know, things does work out with this new person, but because you moved on so quickly, they could also be considered a rebound.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys think you need to have some time alone in order for it to not be a rebound? Like, are you more like self-aware enough to know that you're not just like moving your feelings to somebody new?
I think I wouldn't know until it happens. But like for me, that like breakup happened, and then I really did enjoy time by myself, right? Even like when I came to New York, like I was by myself for almost a year. Like it allowed me to do a lot of things that I wouldn't have been able to do if I was in a relationship. So
Yeah, I think the only times I've ever had a rebound is when it wasn't my decision to end it. So it was more so proving to the other person, being petty, that I could move on without them. But when it was my decision, I took as long as I wanted to move on. I didn't need a rebound because ultimately it was my decision to end it.
Would you guys rather be broken up with or break up with somebody?
Broken up.
You'd rather be broken up
Yeah.
with?
Oh, you don't want to break up?
Less
Yeah,
guilt.
I'd
Yeah.
rather be broken up with too.
Yeah, because I feel
Yeah.
like the person who breaks up could have that mindset like, oh, should I have done it? Like, should I have broken up with them?
Mhm.
Versus,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah,
go ahead.
versus if you were the one that were broken up with, it's easier to move on because it's like, okay, well, I tried my best.
Mhm.
If they didn't want me, it's their loss.
Yeah,
you know?
that's exactly how I think
Yeah.
about it too. And I feel like the concept of the one that got away, that usually happens to the one that
Breaks up.
breaks up with the other person.
Mm.
Whereas, yeah, if you're broken, if you're like on the other side, you're like, well, there was nothing I could have done in that situation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dan?
I don't have a strong preference on like either
Mhm.
side, especially because I feel like I never really had enough breakup that occurred
How many
in my
breakups
life.
have?
Just one. I don't really count the situationship or like dating. Yeah, I think
Plus
those.
that breakup was more mutual, right? Like you both kind of saw it coming.
Yeah, and it was like on and off for the longest time,
Yeah.
and then it just happened. Like there were a period of times like when I ended it and I asked to get back, and then
Mm-hmm.
vice versa. So
I'd rather get broken up with,
Mhm.
but I've had a breakup where I felt like I was the one who initiated it, but
Mhm.
I'm like, why do I feel like I got broken up with? You know what I
Because
mean?
they really went through with
Yeah.
it. And you're kind of like, whoa.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, why do I feel like my heart is more broken than yours?
Was
Yeah.
it maybe you were kind of expecting him to fight for you when you initiated that conversation?
Yeah, I think it's because I didn't really want to break up, but I
It was
knew
more
that
like a
it had.
threat?
Yeah, like it. Not like really a threat, but it was like. I knew that it had to happen,
Oh.
but I really didn't want to, but he wasn't doing it. So I was
Uh-huh.
like, I will just rip the Band-Aid off kind of thing.
Oh, I see, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather just not have to make the decision
Yeah,
again.
Same,
yeah.
same.
I think there were cases when like I was broken up with, and I was like, okay, and, like I'm
Oh.
moving on.
Oh.
And then they were like, "You're not
That's
gonna
it?
fight for me."
Yeah, that's it.
Like,
I'm not
they
getting a more reaction.
Yeah, they get mad at you for like accepting what you offered.
Yeah.
So I'm just
Yeah.
like, why do girls do that?
I've definitely had breakups where I was like, let's break up, and I was like over it by the time I like left the like situation. Like, yeah.
I don't know. I think talking about breakup, I just like only refer to that one breakup,
Yeah.
so I don't have much examples about
Yeah.
it.
It seems like all of us are talking about one breakup that we've
Are we?
had. Yeah. Like we're like referring back to the one.
I have a couple that I
I
refer
yeah.
back to.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. It's just
I
you
don't
and
know.
me.
I'll say before college, like relationships.
Quit our experience,
before
Doug.
college.
It's just you and me, Daniel.
I think that's also the reason why I needed a lot of time like by myself after that breakup, because I truly didn't know like what I enjoyed doing and things like that.
Did you guys have a high school sweetheart?
I had a high school relationship.
Is it
but
high
I
school
wouldn't
sweetheart like
Oh,
regard
my
him
bad,
as
my
a
bad.
high school
High school.
sweetheart.
still dating?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Oh,
High school relationship?
yeah, but I don't want to think about it.
I know about it.
I don't want to think about it.
I'm just kidding. Okay,
Spill
it's okay.
the
We don't have to
tea.
talk about it, Danielle. We don't have to
I mean, I
talk
don't even
about
know
what
what
the
we're gonna talk
podcast
about.
is.
Well, what tea? Like it's a high school relationship. What
It's okay. We don't have to.
What do you want? What do you want me to spill? Like we don't.
Do you guys know any high school sweethearts?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. I know high school sweethearts.
No,
Are you guys like on good terms with your high school
no,
sweethearts?
that was quick.
That's hella quick, Daniel.
no. But like the same belief like continues. Like if relationship ends, like it ends for a reason. It ties the loop to the first question, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't really believe. Like I believe that things happen for a reason,
Yeah.
and I believe that if you break up, it's respectful for your future relationship and their future relationship to just kind of cut that off.
What about you guys?
We still talk every now and then, meaning once a year maybe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like
Mm.
he'll just respond to my story or something. And he
Is that
actually
planting the seed?
Huh?
Planting,
Oh, I don't
planting
know.
your seeds.
And he actually watches us. So
Oh, really?
shout out to my ex. That's what
there,
it does.
is
Thank
there
you,
potential
next.
for this ex?
The one who got away?
No.
So funny.
Yeah, he sent me encouraging words like, I'll always support you.
That's so sweet.
That is
Yeah,
so sweet.
but we definitely don't keep in touch like that. But, he's silently cheering me on.
Aw,
That's cute.
That's so cute.
Would you guys ever go back to someone from high school and like
No.
rekindle?
No.
Quick.
I'm just kidding.
Quick.
I think high school was a very interesting time of my life because my puberty was like I just wanted to be in my room all day and then spend majority of my time at church. So there's nothing really to look back to.
You still went to church in high school?
Yeah.
That tells
What?
me everything I need to know.
But because of that, like most of my friends were back from like that time, and I would consider people that I met here in the past year more closer than my high school friends.
I can see that too.
Yeah.
Same for me.
Okay, the last question I have is if you could give one piece of advice to someone going through a breakup right now, what would it be?
That's a good question.
It's so cliche, but I'll say time will heal. Like I know
Yeah.
you probably think your world is ending right now because it's so soon and you feel like you're going to be alone and you're going to lose all your friends and you're going to lose your identity but you're going to get through it. Like it's really really tough right now. I'm very passionate about it because I have friends that are going through this right now and I feel for them and I know they feel so alone in this, but everyone's gone through this.
Yeah.
Everyone's had to handle awkward situations where they see their ex in like group settings because they were all in the same friend group and you feel like one friend group is gonna choose the other person and you're gonna be left out and all the bad stuff is gonna happen because of this breakup and you're never gonna get through it, but you will get through it. It just takes some time and it's okay if you take some time to be with yourself, but true friends will not pick sides. Like you'll be able to still maintain those relationships. You will get through it and your true friends will help you through it, but yeah, time will heal.
Yeah.
Love that.
You will find someone that understands you and then like you for who you are. So, just don't be down just because this relationship didn't work out. Keep your heads up and focus on yourself.
Hey, that's really
Miss
great.
Quinn.
advice. Yeah. I agree. I think you guys just pretty much summed it up. I think the main focus is yourself. I know it's hard to think back about things you could have done to change the course of the relationship, something you could have done better. If you had tried harder, things would have worked out. But I do believe in, actually I'm confusing myself. Don't believe in right person, wrong time. Because
Wait, so you believe in right person? Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah.
right?
It's so
Yeah, yeah.
confusing. We
Ooh,
start
yeah,
this
yeah.
podcast with
You
the
believe in
confusion.
right person, right time. Yeah. Okay.
And with the
Wait,
confusion.
hold on. Let me do my math again. Don't beat yourself up too much about why things didn't work out or if you could have done things better, because right person at the wrong time is still the wrong person for you. And thinking back, in my experience, there were relationships where I really fought for it. And, if I just things would just play back in my mind where I'm like, oh, I could have done this. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. But in reality, that person just wasn't ready. I think I should have accepted that fact. If they're not ready, there's nothing I could have done.
Yeah.
So I think the taxi cab theory is very, very true.
Yeah,
especially
for
for guys too. You know, I feel like it's not about the right person. It's just whenever they are ready.
I guess one piece of advice that I could give is, I think when you first break up with somebody, you're so focused on like moving on or like getting over them. And I think it's okay to just take it one day at a time, because it always comes in like waves, the sadness, and like it happens like every day, and then suddenly it'll be like every week, and then one day you're gonna be like, oh, I haven't thought about it in a while.
Yeah, totally.
So just let yourself like feel the sad, like cry it out, and then one day like you feel like it's not gonna happen, but it will. Like you're gonna wake up and be like, oh, I haven't thought about them in a really long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I also want to add that progress is not linear. There are some days where you're gonna wake up feeling like crap, but you're gonna get through it.
Yeah, it'll come in waves. It's a, what do you call that? It's a journey. It's a,
Like,
what do you
it's not
call
about
it?
the...
No,
It's not about
It's not about destination. It's
Yeah.
a journey.
Yeah.
For the viewers, it's very hot in here, to be honest.
Yeah, it's been very hot.
see
I
me?
think
Low
all of
energy
us
right
are
now.
like, yeah.
We just wanted to give you guys a good view.
You can't even see the skyline because it's
Very
so
hot.
hot. Yeah,
Our
it's very
back is
hot.
suffering right now.
Yeah.
It's sweating.
Aw.
The
But-
right side of my face is like broken out.
You go back home, it's like
Yeah.
red on the one side.
I'm not doing so hot right now.
Oh, you're doing so hot right now.
Half hot, half hot.
I think we should leave on a high note. I'm trying to think of a question to
Because
liven
the
up
vibes are like
conversation.
very.
Yeah.
Breakups.
We
We my back.
reliving our traumas in this episode.
And breakups not bad.
Anything positive you got out of a breakup? I guess.
I mean, I learned my independence.
Yeah.
Independence.
I think you can't have the highs without the lows.
Right.
Right. So like that low was the breakup, but now I'm on a high. You know. Like,
Yeah,
I am
for
my
sure.
true self. I've learned self-love. So I feel like I really needed to have that low moment to get to where I am today. So.
Yeah, same. I used to like dress in like high school clothes and not do my hair, and I gained like 20 pounds, and now I feel like I focus more on me, and I feel a lot better about who I am now, like after going through all that stuff. So even though breakups are hard, I'm like glad that, I'm not like glad it happened, but it happened for a good purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took a lot of time reflecting on my previous relationship just to see, like, be more aware of what went wrong. What went wrong.
English.
And
That's okay, Daniel.
Yeah.
I just
Keep
wanted to
going.
become
I'll cut that
aware
out.
of what went wrong, and like just to be able to apply to them my future relationship, right? I know my flaws now. Like, I think at the moment I just didn't know, and I think, oh, like, what's wrong with this person? What's wrong with this relationship? But oftentimes, like, it's both sides. So I think take this time to kind of reflect on that and then kind of apply that into the future relationship to make it better. But I think, like, right now I'm in another relationship for the viewers, and I'm as
They
happy
didn't
as
know
I can
that.
be.
I don't
What?
think
You're in a
anyone was
relationship?
asking, but
I mean, for the first time,
for sharing.
it could be first time viewers.
I just want to let you guys know I'm taken.
Before you slide into my DMs, I am spoken for.
The first time viewers, I just gotta make them aware,
It's your first time. Dan is taken.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Also, Quinn is taken.
May and I are single.
DM up.
Slide into our DM.
Don't rush into things. Everybody has their own timeline, and I feel like you could be looking at other people's timeline, especially in our age where people are getting married, engaged, having kids. It's pretty it's easy to compare yourself to others.
Definitely.
That's good.
But I feel like your 20s is really the time for you to learn and experiment. It's like, the older you get, it's going to be harder to make, sudden life changes.
Yeah.
If you want to, pivot and do something, try something new, I think now is the time.
Yeah.
You don't have to have everything figured out. As long as you do things on your own timeline, then it will work out.
Yeah. Sorry, to add on to that.
That's okay.
What you were saying, don't settle, because would you rather be single and happy by yourself, or in your 40s miserable with a partner that you settled down for, or like you settled for?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
Don't settle.
Don't
Don't
settle.
settle.
Yeah.
For sure. Sorry the topic was kind of sad today, but I know a lot of people who are going through breakups want to see like other people
is breakup
relating.
season.
It is breakup season.
It is?
And cuffing
Yeah,
season. Both.
watch out.
Oh,
Watch
what?
out.
It would have been perfect if it was raining today.
Oh.
I know, for the mood.
And hangry.
I'm so angry right now, so let's cut it.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Do you want to try the social media thing?
Oh no, you can do it.
All right.
Daniel's gonna close for us.
So, thank you guys for watching this week's episode, where our full videos are available on YouTube and Spotify. You can also watch it on Spotify, actually. And you guys can see a short clips of us on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. So, please follow us and communicate with us. Send us DM, send us comments, and one of us will reply to you.
Yeah.
So,
Let us know what we should talk about next.
yes, any juicy topics.
Yes, leave a comment below.
And subscribe.
Comment.
And press that bell notification. And this girl still
Who are we,
doesn't have a
YouTuber?
mic.
That subscribe button.
Break your computer.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you guys for
Great.
watching.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.